but we're in for a hell of a night for sure. This is the biggest storm we've been through on anchor, and what if I didn't notice and we got blown onto those rocks there. Crazy. This is it. This is where we make our stand. Coco, Yogi and Liam against Mother Nature.
Oh bro, look at my eyes. I don't think there's any sleep in there.
Thought I'd make you a video about the weather and about cyclones in the South Pacific.
Police, a report of a yacht capsized.
So this morning we moved from Waiheke Island to Izzy Bay by Rangitoto Island. We're not locals in this area, so we asked the local Facebook sailing group where's a good storm anchorage, and they referred us to this anchorage. So we're here now. It's about 7 p.m. and it's gusting 20 knots, but the real wind starts where it gets to 30 knots, gusting 40. It's from 10 p.m. tonight. But we're in for a hell of a night for sure. This is the biggest storm we've been through on anchor since sailing from Tahiti to Tonga to New Zealand. This is serious stuff. So what can I say? It's dark, it's gloomy, it's hot, it's about 29 degrees, it's easy to get sweaty and sticky, and that's all that warm tropical air coming down. There's 5 yachts in the anchorage and a big rusty hulk, and tonight we'll be doing anchor watches, so somebody's always going to be awake. So wish us luck, peeps out there. I suppose if something really goes bad, I've got camera gear here ready to film it, because that makes it a positive, because it'd be good for you guys to watch. So I've got a mouth camera, got a GoPro holder, I've got a chest camera, so let's say another yacht's in trouble, I'll at least put a camera on there and jump in the dinghy and go and help them. And I've got some B-roll camera here and talking to you on the vlog camera. So that's sort of all ready to go. We've got charged up spotlights handy. We've charged up our headsets that we talk, just in case we've got to re-anchor, we've got to talk to each other in the wind. If it gets really hairy, the plan is, if the boat's just shuddering or we're starting to drift, we're going to start the engines up and just idle forward to take the pressure off the wind. But this is it. This is where we make our stand. Coco, Yogi and Liam against Mother Nature. It's just got to hope. Just got to hope. So, we could run for a marina, but there's a few reasons why. When you live aboard and you're sailing around the world, you don't want to be in marinas anyway. And if I'm at some island 200 miles off the coast of Papua New Guinea, there's no marina to run to then. So we might as well practice being at storm in New Zealand rather than just going and checking into a marina. But that is an option. And I suppose if something went badly wrong, we might regret that choice. But we're going to test our anchor, we're going to test ourselves, and, see what comes of it. And just having lunch, and the anchor has slipped back again. So we were meant to be right in the middle of that bay, and now we've come right back down past those rocks. So I'm thinking maybe it's tangled up again, because this anchor is huge. We haven't felt it just drag, but whether when we're in shallower anchorages and the chain's going around it all night as the boat blows around in circles, it seems to be when this is happening. But let's winch it up and see if it's tangled itself up again like the other day. Whew, lucky I noticed. At night I sleep with an anchor alarm on, so that would tell me. But during the day we're busy with Liam, we're watching a movie, and next thing, hey, those rocks aren't meant to be there. And what was if I didn't notice and we got blown onto those rocks there? Crazy. So I've got the engines going, and we're gonna get the anchor up and see what's happened. So it hasn't wrapped up in its chain like before, so it literally just dragged. We had a scope of 5 out. I just got to slow down a bit. We've got to get the anchor. Random, I think that's our first official drag. Hey, I even backed back on it at 1500 RPMs. once we set it. Come on. Yep. Well done, Yogi. So that was lunchtime, right? But I think we were going to move tomorrow for groceries, so we're going to move around to the Anchorage Spider supermarket now, and so we can go get some groceries tomorrow. So makes you lose faith in your anchor though, which we like leaving to go on walks and video things. So do we need a bigger anchor? Oh, time will tell. So this is our new anchorage. So we've just come a couple of bays around the corner, and here we are. And there's a grocery store up there, so we'll stock up on some fresh food. A bit grumpy at that drag, but maybe it's just a really crappy anchorage. So me and Liam are just going to check out a better anchorage for the Cyclone that's coming in on Sunday. We don't like this one because we can't put out enough chain and it's just not enough space, so we're trying to go and find one that's got a lot of space. So going out around the corner, there's one to check out there, and then left or port around that corner there's one to check out there. So just trying to suss it out. We just want a lot of space, a lot of scope out if the Cyclone really comes in. Liam, that's too dangerous up there. You can only sit there if Mummy's holding you. But it's too dangerous, you'll fall out and then get run over. So can you come back to Daddy? Can you come down? Liam, come back to Daddy. Come on. Come on, Liam. Come on. Oh no, you can come and ride with Daddy. Come on. Come on, come back to Daddy. Good boy. Yes, backwards. Yes, good boy. Yes, come back to Daddy. Oh, that's too long to wait. Good boy. Yeah, so have a look at this area. That's the north wind direction up there. So a lot of the wind will be coming from there, blowing that way. And just wonder if we could go and anchor in the middle of this with Coco and put out 100 meters of chain with a lot of space around us. That's what we want. People tend to cluster together in little anchorages in storms because it sort of feels protected. But the other boats are a problem. Like if we have a lot of chain out, somebody could come and anchor in front of us and hook up with our chain because they don't realise how much scope we've got out. So I read this old book of some old salty guy that's been at sea for 30 years, and he just says go away from everyone, put a lot of chain out, just get away from it all, and that's how you weather a storm out. So that's what I'm looking for. To some extent this whole end of Waiheke Island is protected from the north wind. But after studying the weather a bit more, it turns out that this anchorage would be too exposed and the wind will clock around to the west and then to the south. But yeah, it looks beautiful. I've never been here before. Oh, the light is too bad to really be able to see the phone chart. Wait, don't climb in, Liam. But yeah, it says it's 3 meters deep in here, but I might go to the next bay on with Coco. I don't think I'll go there now. Oh, stuff it, let's go there now. We got time, we've got to let Mummy do some work, don't we? Liam, come on, hold on here. Oh, 18, 19 month, wait, actually 20 month old, adventurous, listens sometimes stage. Sometimes very good and other times no listening at all. Reminds me of 2 dogs that I've trained puppies. If Liam turns out weird, it's because I've trained him like a puppy. Such awesome natural beauty in New Zealand. There's seagulls, and I think there's a type of, at a guess, tern nesting on there at the moment. And that's their little home. Right, onwards. So we've just gone further south along the southern edge of Waiheke Island. There's just bays all along here, so I think we should be able to find something to anchor in along here that's got a lot of room, a lot of space. At this point I'm a little bit too focused on space, and I really need to be in an anchorage with more projection from all the wind angles as the wind rotates around as the cyclone goes past. I might ask on a local Facebook group too what the anchor holding's like in these bays along here. Try and get some local knowledge. Yes, it's a bit tricky being out here with a 20-month-old, but you know, it's also special. It comes both. Right, we should leave and go and find Mummy, huh? Good boy.
He's toppled over?
Hey, he was sitting there.
He was sitting there. Hello.
Whee!
Back. He was sitting there. Oh, bless.
Could you not see him for a moment?
No, I just could see. I couldn't even see
I should have
Jimmy.
been like, oh, I've lost him.
Oh my God. Why do you want to give me a hug?
Because Liam was sitting, Yogi couldn't see him, so...
Where's my butcher gone? He's floating away.
We're the good boys trip, eh?
He was a good boy.
Yes. Oh, it's good to be back. It was a bit bumpy.
I bet.
Radio, Coast Guard Radio. A message timed 18:29 hours from police. A report of a yacht capsized approximately 200 metres off Snell's Beach in the Carwell Bay area. Two persons heard a yelling for assistance in the water. And no further information available. Any vessels in the vicinity able to assist, please contact Coast Guard Radio on this channel. A message ends. This is Coast Guard Radio out.
Whoa, some yacht out there is capsized off Snell's Beach. That's maybe 20 miles up the coast from where we're at. And reports of people in the water yelling, so it's a mayday relay. You know, there's nothing we can go and do about that, but whew.
A mayday station calling Coast Guard Radio. Position is approximately 200 metres off Snell's Beach in the Carwell Bay area.
So what's happening is we're hearing one side of the transmission and there's another transmission happening, getting relayed.
Mayday relay, Coast Guard Radio from DDR3, channel 16.
DDR3, this is Coast Guard Radio, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, so we've just been speaking to our comms. Member of the public has gone out on their own vessel. They have got one person on board their boat. The other person is still holding on to the vessel at the moment, unknown whether they have a life jacket on. Over.
Roger, understood. that one person has been safely ashore and the other person is holding onto the vessel and unsure if they've got a life jacket. Over.
Affirmative. We're just waiting for an update from the informant who's shore-based.
Roger. Coast Guard Radio out.
So it sounds like somebody on the shore has raised the alarm for that vessel. But it's just spooky, you know, it's real out here, it's a real storm. And I'm just talking to the camera, Yogi. It's real spooky. You know, somebody out there is in trouble. There's a life and death situation happening now. It's just off the coast, so it's quite close because somebody from land has raised the alarm. But yeah, no, it's real. It is real.
Mayday, Data 3, this is Coast Guard Radio, go ahead.
Yeah, Coast Guard Radio, Data 3, Sid Rep. At this stage, the person has made it safely to shore. Our comms are speaking to them directly. They can confirm it was only one person involved, and that person is now safely ashore, so we can silence finay this event. Thank you.
Roger, that's received. Thanks very much for the update. Coast Guard Radio out.
You have to blab his penis in the...
No, you're blocking it. So Liam's just about to go to sleep.
We're gonna put this shirt on, and then
So it is now 9:15 PM and we have got sustained about 20 and gusting 30, and oh, it's howling, the rigging's howling already. It's just everything comes down to that anchor and chain. It's just like we don't want to be moving or upping anchor in the night. Like we just, you know, there'll be so much force on that winch and chain and stuff going on, and it's going to get to sustained 30s and might be gusting 50s, might be sustained 40s on one forecast. So Yogi's just making a cup of tea.
I should make relaxing tea.
Yogi's doing pretty good. She had a sleep earlier, so you're reasonably. How are you feeling?
Oh, bro, look at my eyes. I don't think there's any sleep in there. I'm wide awake.
I might have a snooze soon. Yeah, it's holy shit. It's just, you know, it just comes down to an anchor.
Seems like the anchor's not big enough now.
So, we've got to order a ship's anchor. Oh, I'll take you outside to see if you can see anything. I'll turn my head torch on. Over there's the rubbish bags that are squeaking. See if you can see anything out here. It's even blustering the camera and the microphone. Oh, well, we'll update you as it goes. Right, it's 11 PM and we're seeing a sustained gusting 25, gusting 32. But we're going to do anchor watch, so we're going to keep somebody awake all night, and I'm on shift first, so I thought I'd make you a video about the weather and about cyclones in the South Pacific. So I'm also sitting here with the Anchor Watch app on, and you can see that I'm not drifting further and further away from where the anchor is. So my eyes are just glued to that all night, and as the gusts hit the boat, you like look at it, and it works really well. And occasionally go outside and have a look and look at the other boats and see what I can see. So let's dive into the screen recorder and let's have a look at the weather. Right, you're in there. I don't know if that's going to work in the edit. But anyway, if we zoom out, so this is let's talk about what's approaching New Zealand. So this is Cyclone Dovey, and as you can see as I scroll the bar along, you can see it just impacting the North Island of New Zealand and coming straight from the port side of the screen down to the starboard side at the bottom. Massive storm, like look at the size of it. It's the size of the North Island of New Zealand. So why do they build up in the South Pacific? Well, if we zoom out now, and you can see here over on the right of the screen, South America, and then towards the left, Australia. You can see the big trade winds here flowing from South America across to this side of the Pacific. So this is the tropical band through the middle there. And what this is doing is with the wind comes the current, so that's also the way the current is coming across the Pacific. So that is the tropics, and all that sunlight and energy is just a conveyor belt of heat all coming from the right of the screen to the left of the screen across the Pacific. And then it hits Australia and Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands here, and it slows down, and that's where the heat intensifies. And the water temperature will get up to even 28 degrees, and that's why the cyclones spool up in this area. And it's the same with the Atlantic. That's why the cyclones build up on the Caribbean side. But in the southern hemisphere, the cyclones spin clockwise, and in the northern hemisphere, so you can actually see that spinning clockwise. And in the northern hemisphere, there's one up by Japan, which is just off the coast of Japan, and you can see that spinning anti-clockwise. And if you don't know already, that's because of the spinning rotation of the Earth and the Coriolis force.
Bart, water will only go the other way in the southern hemisphere.
What the hell is the southern hemisphere?
Oh, haven't you ever looked at your globe? See, the southern hemisphere is made up of everything below the equator. This line.
So down there in, say, Argentina or Rand McNally, all their water runs backwards?
Uh-huh.
Hello, operator. I'd like to make a collect call to Australia.
Which I'm aware of these things, but I don't know how to explain that one to you, so maybe that would be another story. So what happens is the cyclones can either spool up here, gain energy, and they crank down here, and then they turn down towards New Zealand, or they can spool up here and sort of crank down here and turn down and sort of impact northern Australia. And if we zoom in again, you can see where we are. We're in this area by Auckland, which is one of the major cities in New Zealand. So this is our anchorage between Rangitoto Island and Motu Tapu Island. And let's have a look how the wind comes across as we advance it. So if we go back to start, the storm arrives, it goes all dark, and then swings around and goes light as it goes to the south. And it's 11 PM, and we're going to get the worst at about 4 AM ish. So when we anchored here, I had to make sure I anchored in the middle, not the side, because if the wind clocked around, next thing you'd be swinging onto the beach and the other way. So even though at the moment we feel a bit close to that side, when the wind swings around, we'll have enough distance from the other side. So just making some bacon eggs for breakfast. We got through the night all right. At about 1 AM it backed off to sort of around 20 to 25 instead of 25 to 32. But it's back up to 32 knots now. and the wind's actually starting to clock around in the anchorage, so we're starting to swing to the other side of the bay. What else can I tell you? We didn't really sleep well, we just snoozed, and I set an alarm for every 20 minutes to get up and check the anchor alarm and to sort of check the wind condition on the boat, so very fitful sleep. But here we are. When I haul up the anchor next, I'm going to kiss it for holding.